Good Morning Wilmington is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Good morning, Wilmington. Good morning, Wilmington. I say good morning, Wilmington. Wake up, y'all. Come on, have a great day.
Good morning, Wilmington. What's going on? It's your main man, Big Iv, the talk of the town, Mr. DETV, and I'm here today on set. And I can't wait till next week because my homegirl, sister from another mister, will be here. Vincenza will be back in full swing. Hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful, I want to say vacation, but more of a summer break. But now it's time to get back to business, and the business at hand is to bring you information around Delaware, for Delaware, on a hyper-local level. And it's speaking about hyper-local and speaking about a level that these guys and the art museum has set the bar. Let me tell you, allhiphop.com, Gorilla Republic, and the Delaware Art Museum presents the second annual Hip Hop Culture Summit, a free family-friendly event celebrating hip hop's role in social justice, change, and civic engagement. Following the success of last year's event which drew over 1,000 attendees. Can you imagine that? 1,000 attendees in the Delaware Art Museum. Look, you do not want to miss this. I have two of the strongholds, the guys that vision came together and put this together. My main man Iz and my main man Grouchy Greg. What's going on, gentlemen?
So what's up? Oh
my God, it's full circle. Again, it's a full circle moment because we all started, well, you started much before us. Iz and I was out there in the streets when I first met him when it wasn't popular. And now I get to interview you both on Good Morning Wilmington. And you, Grouchy, when I needed you back 15 years ago and had to tell you I had an idea. So now we're here talking about this idea that you cultivated, right? The Hip Hop Summit, because you've been always wanting to bring hip hop to Delaware. And with that, like, how did this happen? How did this go?
Yeah, well, I've known Iz for 20 plus years, being around in the community, watching him do his activism, the hip hop events that we were both a part of all around the state. And, once I found out he was at the Delaware Art Museum, I knew I had a voice on the inside that if I brought something tangible to the table, it had a good shot of coming to life. Right. And so, one thing that I felt would be perfect for the art museum was having hip hop culture really represented in there. I know they've done many events surrounding hip hop culture, but I felt like a tentpole event that could be stood up that happens every year at the art museum that's free and open to the public would be something that they may be interested in. And so I sat down with Brother Iz and, he made it happen.
Now, Iz, you've been at the art museum for about 5 years now?
No, 20 plus years.
20 plus years?
Yeah.
At the art museum?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
No, you're all right.
My bad.
Yeah.
But I know since you've been there, you've been like really boots on the ground, bringing more culture to the art museum. How has that been, and where do you see that in the near future?
Well, it's been basically re-educating, reintroducing people to what the arts especially stands for. Okay. It's arts and culture. You one and the other have to coexist together. Right. I feel strongly that cultural program has to be a part of the program. The reason why, because I strongly believe we as a people, the more we know about our roots, the better that we can grow as a people. Yeah. So it's important to keep cultivating that. Yeah. That's why I'm really strong about cultural programming when it comes to when you see our programming out there, just know that's done for a reason, for a purpose. Yeah. I feel that we're farmers at the end in the morning. Like we have to cultivate the land, we have to cultivate the people, because I do felt like there was a void when I first came out here to Delaware. I was like, well, I get it that there's things to stand for, but what are the things to keep it going, to keep it growing? Right. And it was beautiful. Like when Brother Grouchy Greg, he came with the idea of like, hey, how about a hip hop summit, happening here at the art museum. And, we put our minds together and we were like, well, let's make sure it's represented through the culture. Let's make it different than the others, because I know how hip hop events have grown. I know Brother Grouchy Greg knows himself. And I know sometimes it's more about entertaining. Right. But this is about empowerment. Right. This is about educating.
Yeah.
So we wanted this summit to be something that the youth and the others can grow from it and learn from it. But at the same time, we look at it from a schooling perspective too as well. We have to be responsible about the future. So that's why this summit is so important. But I'm glad that, that Grouchy saw this vision, and sometimes, we as himself as a creator, we need brothers and sisters to help bring this together.
Right. And with that, so you go to him about the summit. You have it at the Delaware Library, Delaware Art Museum, and poof, 1,000 people later. Did it exceed what you thought it was going to do?
Yes, it wasn't that simple though.
No, okay.
You know what I mean? I wish it was poof, 1,000 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying, but I mean, there's a lot that goes into it in terms of the planning, the resources that the Delaware Art Museum is generously providing, and how they allow us to pretty much take over the entire art museum for the day to really express ourselves and show what hip hop culture is all about.
Right.
And so, it's been an interesting process to work with the Delaware Art Museum to actually build out various sections of the museum and actually program it around the themes of each one of these cultural summits. So this year's theme is hip hop and activism. And, it's centered around, what hip hop has done since its inception in terms of cultural awareness, activism, and, being a genre that is uniquely positioned to spread politically themed messages to the community.
Right. And with that being said, we're talking about over 20 years ago when hip hop took on a form of activism, coming out with artists such as King Star, Public Enemy, and I don't want to say this, like the Beastie Boys. I mean, the song "Fight" was the "Fight for Your Right to Party," right? But you have like some of the guests that are going to be there to speak on a level of activism, and that's going to be.
Flavor Flav, the co-founder of Public Enemy, with Chuck D, who actually flipped the Beastie Boys song, Fight for Your Right to Party. They have a song called Party for Your Right to Fight.
Yes.
Right? So, Public Enemy, obviously trailblazers in terms of hip hop and politics and merging those, and activism and merging that into a form of music that we used to call and still call edutainment.
Right.
You're entertained by it, but you're educated by it. And, having Flav around coming off the heels of the Olympics, obviously his success with reality TV is going to be really beneficial in terms of, drawing in a bigger crowd.
Right.
The thing about Flav is that, a lot of people know him. He's known as hip hop's most famous hype man, but he's also a trained musician.
Right.
He's battled substance addiction, and he's been sober now for 6-7 years. So he's going to be talking more so about his activism and his sobriety, and it's a perfect timing for us because the elections are November 4th.
Right.
And so it's also designed to make sure that we're sending the message to the people, participate in the process of electing your local officials and the national officials.
And before we, I want to hop on that right there. How important do you believe hip hop is going to play, or the culture is going to play in electing a new president?
I mean, it's already playing a big part. Whether it's on Kamala's side, she had Quavo introduce her.
Yeah.
She had Megan Thee Stallion at her first rally. You have a variety of rappers, drill rappers, endorsing and supporting Trump.
Right.
So whether, you're Trump or Kamala, hip hop is leading the forefront, maybe more so than any other form of music until, Taylor Swift came out with her endorsement. I mean, she's one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah.
But you still have all of these people out here all of these rappers making these endorsements. And it's even gotten so crazy that now there's fake news going out. This weekend they claimed that Eminem endorsed Kamala, but it was fake. But I'm just saying that's how important the genre is to the music.
Yeah. And at the same time, I just, want to readdress the thing that hip hop has always been about social justice and about activism since day one. And that was the reason why we came together about this, to address that, because it's about really what made hip hop culture so strong around the world.
Right.
Nobody knew what was going on in our neighborhoods if it wasn't for our people that was voicing it out through music or through the culture. There's a reason why we even have battles at this. We have MC battles, B-boy battles, graffiti battles. Back then, back in 74, 75, you know, New York was going through a gang warfare all throughout the state, especially in the inner city. But we had to find a way to come together. We had to find a better way to communicate without killing each other. So battles became important to represent your neighborhood, to do it with pride, but people wouldn't be killed. You know, we had to find a way how to become peaceful about it. Yeah. But at the same time, addressing the issues, because when hip hop started, we were talking about the issues about poverty. We were talking about police brutality, gentrification. Yeah. You know, these things really mattered. And we want to make sure that people understand that this message still needs to continue. That's why the activism part is about all of those that get it. They understand that you have to do the work. Yeah. Other than just, you know, being out there, you have to do the work, you have to represent, but you also have to find those who are doing it so they can lead you. Yeah. And I'm grateful that, you know, of the opportunity that, you know, for our brothers and sisters that are all going to be on the panel from different genres, from different eras, from different levels, in different states.
Who's going to be on the panel?
We got brother Hakeem Green. That's one beautiful brother too from Channel Live. He also, you know, in his city out there in New Jersey, he's been addressing 24 hours of peace. Wow. Where the gun violence has really, you know, in Trenton, New Jersey, if I'm correct, you know, Newark, New Jersey, where it's such an issue that it became. But this addresses it, you know, and it's been very successful how hip hop is used as a tool to educate, to empower, but at the same time, what's the message?
That's right.
And for those who may not know Hakeem Green by name, you definitely know his song Spark Madism, you know, hip hop classic. Yeah. We also have Dupree Kelly, who's one of the founding members of Lords of the Underground. Wow. And he's now a city councilman, so he's going to be on the panel. We have Pam Africa, who's, you know, renowned activist, and then we have Dr. Yasser Payne from the University of Delaware, who teaches a course on hip hop activism and social justice.
And that's so dope, right? Because when people just think hip hop is just the music and the entertainment, just the level of responsibility that comes with activism, with it, of getting people together. It's more. And I read today, it's, you know, hip hop when it in the 80s, it started creating this religion, if you so to speak, bringing people together, speaking about things that matter in the community, which is activism, right? And then leaving people out to go live their lives according to what is good out there. So I can see that. Last year I went and again I was blown away. I walked in there like didn't expect the B-boys, you know, the breakdancing. Oh shoot! Didn't expect the graffiti wall, which my daughter absolutely loved. Is that going to happen this year?
Yep. Yeah, this year we're actually going to have Brother Leon Rainbow, who leads one of the biggest graffiti battles in New Jersey, and he's going to come out here facilitating. But we're calling all other people to battle. This is a battle. And what I mean by that, so they're going to be pulling out categories that have to do with social justice, and they're going to have to tag about issues that matter in our community.
Word?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same thing with the MC battles, you know, which is led by Brother Matt Ills of Grind Time Now. So people are not going to be battling each other. They're going to be battling the topics. They're going to pull the topics out of a hat, and that's what's going to matter. That's what's going to make a difference. So we want to test the levels of the MC. You know, but at the same time, are you aware? And we want to make sure that our people know, because Melly Mel did something beautiful called The Message back then. Right. When he was addressing that already, you know, about the conditions that were going on in the neighborhood. We got to continue that, you know, because once again, I have to tell people that hip hop, if there's no education, if you're not learning from it, if there's no knowledge, you can't call it hip hop.
Oh, I love it. Hey, Dennis, throw that flyer up real quick. I want to make sure everyone see this flyer because we're talking about the hip hop activism and social engagement. October 26th, which is a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. 5 p.m. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. 2301 Kentmore Parkway, Wilmington, Delaware 19806. For sponsorship vending information, they can reach out to Grouchy Greg, Grouchy Assistant at allhiphop.com, and Iz Balleto at DELART.org. Make sure you check that out. This is going to be an amazing event. Amazing event. I want to ask you guys this: what is your favorite song, hip hop song, that has to do with social justice?
Girl, you tackle that one first.
Oh damn!
I'm putting you on the spot.
It would be more like a Mortal Technique. I think he probably brings something, an element, just listening to any of his albums can empower you. Feel like you're reading a history book every time, the brother speaks.
Okay.
So I can honestly say that. So if anybody out there, just look up a Mortal Technique and look up, what is the message that is, especially what he's providing. You're going to be empowered by one of them. So.
Okay.
For me, I would say, and it's not because Flavor Flav is a guest, but it's definitely the whole album, Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. I mean, it was such a revolutionary sound that dropped. The Bomb Squad introduced, the production crew, the Bomb Squad introduced a whole new sound. I mean, Chuck and Flav on that album are talking about so many different things from, prison to 911 being a joke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Which, brought light on the fact that the disparity in response times to people of color or black people versus, other communities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that album for me was just so transformative. I mean, I remember being in high school and, cutting class so I could go to the library and research and read who these people were that they were name dropping on that album. You know what I mean? And it just put me on a whole separate journey of hip hop production, how I made my own beats and produced music. I mean, it's just an incredible piece of work, a work of art.
Next question, and one of the iconic questions of all times, right? When did you fall in love with hip hop?
I mean, I know for me, I was in 5th grade. You know what I mean? I know exactly what I was doing, where I was doing it. In my neighborhood, I grew up in Brookside, and around the corner from me was Kimberton. And I remember going out into the apartments and seeing a big circle of people, somebody in the middle breakdancing, and I was like, "That's it. This is it. This is it.
This is it."
And I started breakdancing, then I started trying to do graffiti, then I started rapping, and it just continued on all the way up to high school and out into where I am now.
Wow. How about you, Iz?
I didn't even know I was doing hip hop. I just knew when we were growing up in Brooklyn, Flatbush, b-boying, and for us, we were just living it, So later in life, when I realized, looking back, like, dang, I didn't realize, they were calling it hip hop. We were just doing what we loved to do.
Right.
So it just became, looking at it from a perspective as I got older, learning more about the culture, the reason and the purpose. And one movie that I think it really influenced me was called The Warriors. And The Warriors is actually a true story that a lot of people don't really realize. It's based on the Ghetto Brothers in New York. It's about a gang that was the most biggest gang in New York. And you had to go through trials, to get to the different stations or a different part of the city. When you look at the Ghetto Brothers and what they had to do, you be like, and you look at the Warriors, you're like, hold up, this is the same story. Even Cyrus's part was important. They always had that part happen in New York to gather. And that's when they made, they started building about, we need peace. We need to find a better way. And Cyrus did get killed, actually, from the Ghetto Brothers side.
Wow.
So that they were just imitating what happened on the streets.
Right.
So it was the Warriors that really planted that seed in my mind. I was fascinated by it. So that's where I started. So.
I love it. And with that, it all brought it to full circle again. You guys are doing what you love based because of the music and the culture and the art. And again, thank you both for doing that, man, because you guys, it's just the like when you, and put the flyer back up for me real quick, Dennis. When you look at the flyer, right, you see that is Rodney Square, right? In the early 80s. And look how many people are out there in Rodney Square. And again, in the 80s, when downtown wasn't really cultivated for a generation like this. And just to have, these photos, because you have a lot of these photos within the art museum that tell a story about hip hop. I mean, good Lord, can you still hit that move, Grouchy?
I can still hit it, but not without banging my shoulders and smacking my head on the floor.
But no,
I don't do it anymore.
Again, October 26th, Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Make sure you come out. And what's up? What you got?
Yeah.
I just wanted to emphasize on something. I'm telling to all my brothers and sisters out there. There are 3 levels of battles. There's the MC battle to register for. Look for it on the Delaware.org or allhiphop.com. Also, too, the B-boy battle, the B-girl battle, the breaking battle, and we're talking graffiti battle. Let's bring our culture back to life because it exists here.
Yeah.
If we're looking back at that picture in 1983 that happened right here at Rodney Square, there is a scene here. And nobody would have known this. This was dug out actually through the archives. And that's the beauty about it. Nobody knew about this story about the battle that's between Delaware and Philadelphia and people from New York. It was a battle that happened right here at Rodney Square. But all I'm trying to say is I'm calling out the whole entire state of Delaware. Let's represent.
Yeah.
You know, because there are other people coming from other states. And they want it. It's a $500, you know, for all the prizes for first place, second place $300, third place $100. But the point is, you're walking out with something.
Right.
But let's represent.
Right.
I have to say one thing too before we wrap up. Each year at this summit, we have a local angle.
Okay.
Right. Last year's local angle was we were uplifting all of the artists who put out records in the early 80s and early 90s,
okay,
who maybe never got their just due because it was a different time period. There was no internet, there was no social media, and so we highlighted that. This year, I can't give it away, but if you are from Delaware, you are going to want to come out and hear information that you do not know about this state and its role in the founding of the entire music business.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me, right? And I'm just going to go off what you said, right? That Delaware has a pivotal role in the creation of the music business, or the
creation of the entire music business.
Are you serious?
I mean, I can't cuss on here.
Yeah, you can. We on the network.
No, but I'll keep it clean. But yes, you know, Delaware played a pivotal role in the creation and the founding of the modern music business. The entire thing.
That's huge. That is.
It's an incredible story.
Okay.
It's an incredible story, and the goal of bringing this up is to inspire the local artists and the local community here. You know, a lot of times I'm out here and people always say, well, who came from Delaware and what came from Delaware? And even though there are a number of big people that have come from Delaware who have done things in the music business, this state, someone from this state is responsible for the founding of the entire music business.
Well, look, I can't wait till October 26th to get this so I can hear this, and just like everyone else.
And there's so much. I know we're trying to touch things. We even got T. Eric Monroe too, you know, who was one of the amazing photographers who caught. You know, we're talking from Big Pun, from Method Man, Lauryn Hill. So you're gonna see the photography of the untold stories of the '90s hip hop. And he'll be there too as well. And we're going to have a whole exhibit, and also two of our local artists who have been painting beautiful portraits of social justice and activism through hip hop. So you're gonna get a lot this day. And also too, let's not forget the vinyl records. There's gonna be plenty of people out there who love vinyl records. This is the place you're gonna want to be at.
You can't miss that. So we got everything from dynamic panel discussions from hip hop pioneers, breakdancing battles, DJ battles, MC battles, graffiti battles, photo exhibitions, turntable history. That's gonna be dope as hell. Food trucks, hip hop vendors, and the vinyl record sales. A whole day wrapped of activism, art, entertainment, and just dope stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tickets?
Free. Open to the public, but you have to register. So because you know, of Flav's popularity, you know, we're expecting, you know, a good amount of people. So it's free and open to the public. But if you go to allhiphop.com/summit, SUMMIT, allhiphop.com/summit, you can go there and register.
All right. I love it. All right, gentlemen. Anytime you need to come back, you know the rules. Just take the keys and just come.
Right. We'll be back in 2 hours.
Right. Yes. Spark everything up. All right, gentlemen. Thanks again for what you're doing for the hip hop community, man, and keep it going. And before we get out of here, since we're on the topic about the Delaware Art Museum, it's another thing that you got going on October 24th right now, and I would love for you to chat about.
2 days right before the Hip Hop Summit, we have our 5th annual Dia of the Muertos, Walking Among the Ancestors. If anybody who's been to this beautiful Aztec ceremony that takes place at the Delaware Art Museum, it's a way to honor our ancestors, our past loved ones. It's going to be done authentically by all the people, like I said, that especially the Aztec community. And we're going to have a lineup so beautiful. There's going to be food vendors, and that's from starting at 4 p.m. the ceremony starts. And I want everybody out there who has a picture of their loved one to bring one so we can put it in the altars. And there's going to be plenty of altars. And at the same time, the reason why we do that is so we can honor them and remember them. We also bring a special food to their plate. In other words, everybody brings something special that they used to love to eat. You put it on the table and to make sure that their spirits too are eating as well in the other world. I just want to say, and that too is free for the people. And that's going to happen Thursday, October 24th from 4 to 8 p.m. Expect something beautiful, cultural, strong. And we're doing that with La Catrina Mia. If anybody knows her, they know how she spreads around the awareness about it and how to honor our culture.
I love it. The 24th to the 26th, weekend at the Delaware Art Museum.
Yes.
I was going to say weekend at Bart Bernie's. Weekend at the Delaware Art Museum, where you can get, again, if you're a MC, sign up for the battle. Graffiti artist, I might just pull out my spray cans from back in '88 and get down and
find out
and come out with my best b-boy moves. But again, gentlemen, I'll see you there. I will definitely be in the building. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, because if you're into just giving back to the community and participating in some type of fitness, DETV will be, and myself will be hosting the 5K for the Claymont Community Center on the 28th. Am I right? I got it going on. I'm remembering stuff today on the 28th. We'll be right back.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Still searching for cheap gas prices? Dump the pump and ride DART. You can DART to your destination for only $4 all day. Let DART do the driving while you enjoy our free Wi-Fi available on all buses statewide. While scrolling through your favorite apps, don't forget to download DART's free transit app for real-time bus information and enjoy the convenience of contactless fare payment through DART Pass. So what are you waiting for? Dump the pump and try transit. Visit dartfirststate.com or call 1-800-652-DART.
Government doesn't make a move without an agenda, some type of plan. The problem is we haven't been on the agenda. Sometimes we're overlooked. Sometimes our interests aren't the interest of those in power. I'm your host, Kerwin Gaines, on DETV's new show, The Agenda. We're going to do our best to ensure that you, Delawareans, are knowledgeable about what's going on in the Assembly. Federal government, local government, it doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to ensure that folks that make the agenda on a daily basis have to answer for it. Let them explain what they're doing. If it affects you, it's on the agenda.
Good morning, Wilmington. I say good morning, Wilmington.
Welcome back to Good Morning Wilmington. I'm your main man, Big Iv, the talk of the town. And look, check this out. If you're looking to do something this weekend, September 28th, you do not want to miss this amazing Claymont Community Center 5K. And here to talk more about it is Allison David, the executive director of the C35K.
Hi.
And the whole Claymont Community Center.
The whole Claymont Community Center. Good morning.
Morning. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You are doing some amazing things down at the Claymont Community Center.
We are.
And let's talk about the 5K first.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about some of the programs that you got going on so people could,
Sure.
still, come in and help out or do what else.
Absolutely.
Volunteer, donate, whatever they need to.
So the C35K is Saturday, September 28th.
Mm-hmm.
This is our 6th annual event.
Okay.
And it's really, really fun. It's a high energy event. We have about 100 runners. We always want more.
Right.
We have a lot of partners that come out. We've got music. We've got the Delaware Bluecoats are coming.
Nice.
Cody is going to
coming?
be there. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So high energy. a really great event. You know, it's early in the morning. Race starts at 8:30, and then people are done around 10 when we have the award ceremony. And then people have the rest of the day to, you know, do whatever they want. But it's a great family event. We have runners, we have walkers, people bring strollers, you know, whatever.
Golf carts?
No, you can't do a golf cart. But there is a 1 mile loop. So if 5K is not your thing and you just want to do a mile, you can do a mile.
Right.
So we're really catering to the community because that's what we're about.
Just come out, right?
Yeah.
Just come out, walk.
Absolutely.
Bring your baby, bring the family. All right. And then you said this is the fifth? Sixth annual.
Yep, 6th annual.
Okay. Where do people register, sign up, and all that good stuff?
So you can register at C35K.com. That'll take you right to our, you know, sign up website and just sign up, you and your friends, start a team, you know, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
The other thing is, like, running and walking is not for everyone.
Right.
So if you want to volunteer, you know, there's a place to put in as a volunteer. You can also email us at info@claymontcenter.org for information. So, you know, we really want this to be an event where the community feels like they can come and do something. Because we know how important that is. We know how important community is.
Oh, and I see like all the proceeds go to families, youth, and like the programming.
Yep.
Wow.
So, you know, we have 4 signature programs. We have our Brandywine Senior Center that's serving adults over 50 with all kinds of day programming and fun trips and things that active, mature adults want to do.
Right.
And it helps them stay relevant and stay connected.
Nice.
On the flip side, we have our Empowered Youth Program, which is our after school and summer camp for kids in 4th through 8th grade. So you've got sort of that intergenerational thing happening.
Right.
We have our Learning Center, which helps people, you know, get their GED or maybe work on English, whatever they, you know, need to do.
Right.
And then finally, our food support program.
Wow.
And what's really exciting is that in October, we will be relocating and expanding our food support program right down the block. We own a small property there that we've been renovating and returning it into a community market and garden.
Nice.
So people that need food support, you know, can come to this updated space. They can grab food for their families. And we're also adding this large garden. And that'll be a great opportunity for people to learn about gardening. We'll be growing some of the food, you know, to give to support our families, but also teaching people how to garden. So we're really excited. We think that this will be a great opportunity for the youth and the seniors and families, you know, to really get side by side and you know, have a purpose and contribute back to the community. Just a little more about the Claymont Community Center, because I think people don't understand how big a place it is.
It's huge.
So in addition to our 4 programs, we also have 20 organizations that operate in our building. We have a state service center. We have a private daycare, Brandywine Childcare. We have a Head Start. We have 7 mental health providers. We have private businesses. So I think the specialness of the Claymont Center is you can come for one thing, and you have no idea that there's all this other stuff, you know, for families, and that's what makes it so unique. And our mission really is to enhance the community by addressing the human needs of wellness, belongingness, and esteem. So when you can come because you need something or because you want something.
I love it. And you're doing so much in that community. And how long has the community center been around?
Next year is our 50th anniversary.
So you're gonna do something big?
Oh, we're going to do something big. And the building will be 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
So an interesting thing about our building is that it was the original Claymont High School. It was built in 1924. And it has really significant role in the civil rights movement. So Claymont High School integrated in 1952. That was 2 years before the Brown v. Board of Education decision by the Supreme Court. And, you know, people don't know that that was actually a case of 5 cases of things happening around the country for education equity. And Claymont High School in Claymont, Delaware, got that decision right 2 years before Brown, and it integrated peacefully. And so that legacy of inclusion drives everything we do, that we want people to feel welcome and feel that they can come to the community center to be part of the community, and they'll always be welcomed.
Do people feel that way? You said we want them to. Do they feel that way?
I do believe they do.
Good.
So last year we had 95,000 visits to the center.
Right.
So people are coming
they
back.
They feel something,
I think, you know, people always joke and they say like, oh, nobody knows about it. I'm like, well, 95,000 visits. I mean, some people know about it, but of course we want more people to know about it. And we want to be building programs and services that the community wants. So we're trying to spend this year really getting people's input. Like, what do you want out of your community? You know, and it's important that we all have that voice.
I love it. I love what you're doing down. Was it down there, up there? I love what you're doing up there at the community center. Is there so you're since you're a nonprofit 501c3 donations?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we always need donations. You know, when you come to an event that really supports the programs, when you make a donation that really supports the programs, and sometimes it's cash, sometimes it's in kind, you know, a food, you know, at work, you want to do a food drive and bring food. We also need talent. We need like people's help, right?
There you go.
So, you know, our food support program, really relies on donations of food from various grocery stores. So big thanks to Food Lion, Trader Joe's, Wawa, Acme. I think we just started a thing with ShopRite, and Sprouts. So those grocery stores give us food donations, but we need volunteers to go pick it up. So if you've got, you know, 2 hours a month that you can donate some time, that's awesome.
You're not asking for 40. You're asking for an hour, 2 hours a month. With 40 people, that's a lot. I got you. And that's how it works, right? It works like that.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And there's all different ways to interact with the center.
All right. Give them for more information. That's your camera. Tell them where they need to go to interact. That's your 30-second spot.
Okay. So we want everyone to come out to the Claymont Community Center on Saturday, September 28th for our 6th annual C35K. You can sign up at C35K.com, and you can also get information on our website at ClaymontCenter.org.
I absolutely love it. Love it.
Me too.
All right. You know the rules.
And wait.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Big, huge thanks to you for being our media sponsor. I know that you are going to bring so much energy. It's going to be the best one yet.
I hope I can do that in a quarter mile. Let me stop. No, it's definitely a pleasure. It is definitely a pleasure when you call and ask. I'm like, you damn right. I'm in. We're in.
We're actually
awesome. And I don't think did that email go out to my team this morning? Okay, so they're going to hear it here. We're going to make that a team bonding moment, right, for the team. So sorry y'all didn't get that email. All right, but y'all got noticed. Y'all on notice. All right, but the 28th, we will be there. Thanks again. The Claymont Community Center, September 28th. Register today at C35K.com. All proceeds go to youth, families, and senior programs. Did I get it right?
You got it perfect.
All right. 5K run, walk, crawl. No golf carts. Skip. You can skip a 5K. You need to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. But look, Allison, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
You know the rules. Whenever you got something going on, let us know so we can let the community know.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. We'll be right back because I met this guy, right? Brian DiSabatino. And he's doing great stuff with Whitehall. And you need to hear about Vet Fest. So we'll be right back with Brian DiSabatino. What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Big Eye, talking to town, Mr. DETVCH.com. And as you know, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And I get it. I understand. And for me, that used to suffer with depression and even trying to commit suicide, I want to let you know that you're more than enough, that the world needs you, all right? No matter how you feel, I need you to call 988 or reach out to Delaware Health Equity Coalition and speak to someone, all right? You might be going through a lot, and you might think the world doesn't even care about what you're going through, and that is a lie. We do care, and we do need you, all right? Your family needs you. So look, call 988 or visit our dear friends that really give a damn over the Delaware Health Equity Coalition. And when I see you in the street, just give me a hug, all right? That's it. You don't gotta say anything, but we love you.
I'm asking for 45 more years.
I'm asking for my baby girl.
I'm asking to see it up and running again.
I'm asking for all of us.
1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Ask about a prostate screening that can detect cancer when it's most treatable, so you can ask for so much more. Visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211 to learn more.
A new beginning, a second chance. Call it what you want, but this is what never giving up looks like. This is what finding someone who believes in you looks like. I thought Goodwill was just a store until a friend told me about Train to Gain through Goodwill's Job Resource Center. After 5 years away, I had a lot of self-doubt and fear about my future, but Goodwill had my back, and today, I love where I work. They matched me with an employer who believes in second chances, and now I have a new start thanks to Goodwill.
To learn more about Goodwill's career development opportunities, call today.
You know the why for state-of-the-art fitness centers and amazing pools.
But we're so much more.
The why is where Delawareans improve their health.
Where our communities get stronger.
Where everyone belongs.
It's where we battle chronic disease.
Where cancer survivors restore their mind and body.
And weight loss goals become lifelong habits.
We are the why.
Good for you and good for the community.
Good morning, Wilmington. I say good morning, Wilmington.
Welcome back to Good Morning Wilmington. It's your main man, Big Ive, the talking to town, Mr. DETV. And as you can see, I have a very, very special guest here, a good friend, a brother from another mother, Brian DiSabatino, president of EDiS. How you doing, Brian?
Great to be here, Ive. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me, man. And the reason that we have Brian on today is because he has this amazing event going on. I don't even want to just call it an event because it's like it's a way of life, right? Can I say that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Vet Fest is really, you know, what started out as a simple fundraiser has turned into something amazing. I like to tell people it's really a symbol about how this community can actually come together to solve a problem.
Right, and what problem is that?
Veteran suicide. You know, it's a very unpopular topic to talk about because of the stigma that surrounds it.
Right.
But we've discovered through Vet Fest itself that the more we talk about it, the higher the probability we are to be able to fight this problem and cure it.
Yeah, because we're talking about September being a suicide prevention month, and it's an amazing time that this event is going on at Whitehall, correct?
Yeah, in the town of Whitehall.
In the town of Whitehall. Now, let's talk about maybe some of the reasons before we get to the actual event of a soldier suicide.
Yeah.
Because it is the reason why we're here, the reason that we're going to be at Vet Fest.
Yeah, you know, it's really sad to say that our veterans, those who have served, are between 70 and 80% more likely to die from suicide than those who have not.
Right.
And that, for us, is catastrophic.
Yeah.
You know, we believe the folks that have organized the Vet Fest and get involved in this cause understand the basic principle that if 1% of our country is going to stand up voluntarily between us and harm, then the other 99% of us have an obligation to stand behind them.
Right.
And people in this community stand behind their veterans in a lot of ways.
Right.
Some of the ways is the housing shortage.
Right.
Some of it is food scarcity.
Right.
Some of it is employment. For us, it's all about combating the epidemic of veteran suicide.
That's right, and you are also a parent of someone, of your child is in the armed services, such as I am. My son's in the Army, and your son is?
In the Army also.
All right, and now when your son enlisted, right, how did you feel?
Well, I think like any parent, I was really excited and really proud of the decision and the selfless decision. But I'll tell you, he went to the Citadel, and on that very first day, we sat in an auditorium,
right?
And the kids left the room, and it left the parents, and it struck me at that moment. Oh my gosh! Like what went from this like super high emotion patriotism went to the reality of for centuries. Parents have been donating their children to a cause.
Yeah. And it's different. It's different from the kids sign up. Oh, you're going to the military, and then you sit there and you're like, wait a minute. It's like it hits you right then and there.
Yeah, there was an expression that somebody used as in a book that I was reading about World War II. The expression was, "The people that die in war are the sons of mothers."
Wow.
And it changes the perspective completely. From the soldier, the male and the female soldier, to the parent, from the husband or wife to the spouse, to the parent to the child.
Right.
That everybody, the entire family, is engaged in this. So when we talk about suicide, every single year we lose about 6,000 veterans to this epidemic.
Wow.
The real wow is the downstream implication that comes out of this.
Right.
The data suggests to us that from 6,000 deaths, there's a societal impact of around 900,000, right? And what happens is when somebody in your family dies of suicide, suddenly the rest of the family becomes susceptible to the same epidemic.
Right.
When somebody at work, ignore the economic impact, but the emotional and psychological impact in the workplace becomes astronomical. By the way, I said 900,000, 90,000. 90,000. So this is a real world problem that we have got to interrupt.
Right. And interrupting that with Vet Fest, what does that look like for you?
Well, we like to say that Vet Fest is the paradox, right? In some respects, the topic is sad. It's tragic. It's suicide. It's us being able to use this event as a modality to educate the community that breaks the stigma. If we can talk about suicide with overt language, then perhaps people can leave Vet Fest understanding that it's okay to ask your neighbor, your friend, your coworker, are you okay?
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Just break the stigma.
Yeah.
The other part is it's joyful.
Right.
We have a lot of fun at Vet Fest.
Yeah, I saw. I mean, we did it live last year. I saw.
So, we'll have about 500 people running in our 5K and 10K. So the morning begins at 10 a.m. with a parade.
Right.
The parade has everyone from...
Through the town of Whitehall.
Through the town of Whitehall.
Gotta love that.
So, it starts out, the families of the Gold Star families, the families of the decedents of suicide come down first. They're followed up by the National Guard marching band.
Yeah.
And the band that sort of brings up the rear to send us out in a really celebrative way is the Delaware State University marching band.
DSU, gotta love DSU.
So we're really excited about that. After the parade at 10, the 5K and the 10K go out, and the family walk about at 11. And at 12 o'clock...
Family walk.
Family walk.
Family walk, okay.
So we encourage families and children and to come to enjoy the day, or to maybe walk in honor of your member of the military.
That's right. That's right.
And then at 12 o'clock, we have two great bands, one going off about 12:30, one going off about 3. At 12 o'clock, a group called the Angry Young Band is doing a Billy Joel tribute.
Okay.
And at 3 o'clock, Club Fred, who is an incredible local group of musicians led by Fred Dawson.
Okay.
They give away millions of dollars worth of music and service every year. They've brought in the late night horn section, which is also the band from the Blues Brothers movie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, no Jake Noel would.
Okay.
But
I was going to ask.
We're going to have Fred Dawson.
I was going to ask.
Just as good.
Okay.
But we're going to have a sort of a get up out of your seat, toe tap, and dance. And
we're talking about all day. We're talking about an entire day.
Entire day.
Dedicated to the vets.
Dedicated to the vets.
Let me ask you this. Why are you so invested in Vet Fest, in this? Because I know my thing is I always like to ask the why, right? Because I see, like, you're very busy.
Yeah.
You're here, you're there, you're doing this, you're doing that, right? But when it comes to Vet Fest and your kid's birthday, you are 200% in. Why are you 200% in with Vet Fest?
When you asked me that question, I welled up and I had to grab a composure because I didn't want to make a fool of myself in front of your audience. But this is a really personal issue for me.
Right.
Once you see this epidemic up front, eyeball to eyeball, you can't unsee it.
Right.
You know, I have sat with Gold Star parents who's the Delaware families, kids who have died on our behalf.
Right.
On our behalf.
Right.
We have delegated our risk to these kids.
That's right.
They've died on our behalf.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, they don't have to know us, right? We don't have to know them, but and again, when you have a child or a friend or a parent that is enlisted into the armed service, you start to see things. You can't unsee it, right? You
can't
see things
unsee
different.
And so the Gold Star families really struck me with the sacrifice that they made, that their kids made on our behalf. And then I started to meet the parents and family members of the kids that died of suicide, where the war from Afghanistan and Iraq followed them back stateside and chased them all the way to their last breath here. And when I heard their family stories, I couldn't unsee it. Right. Just last week, Delaware inspired an event that happened just last week up on Wall Street, where they raised $500,000 in one dinner to the cause.
For Vet Fest?
For Vet Fest.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ultimately, it goes to Stop Soldier Suicide, the nonprofit. So up pop two women. One, they're both sisters. One woman discusses that she lost her child to veteran suicide.
Right.
Then, the ripple effect through the family, she lost another child as a result of the first child's death. But it didn't end there. The sister lost a child because of what happened to that child's cousin. And so, again, it's that brutal reminder that these kids on our behalf voluntarily step up to stand between us and harm. And the families that support them, if they're going to do that, this is I don't deserve any thank you. This is the least I can do.
Right.
And what really motivates me is when I get on the grounds of Vet Fest and I see the hundreds of volunteers. Because look, I am so not unique. Hundreds of volunteers throughout this community have made a decision to take a stand that they are not going to allow this epidemic to put up a fight bigger than theirs.
Right.
And so they do everything from hand out information to create a parade, to create the 5K, to sell merchandise, to make food, to have the bands, and to give a great big darn hug to the families that have sacrificed for us. That's the least we can do.
No, I really, and speaking on behalf of other parents out here and just the community and stuff, we thank you for putting this together and for doing it.
Thank the veterans.
Thank the veterans, right? It was coming because, you know, again, when you see someone that not say, you know, I'm a volunteer to just go feed the homeless, or I'm going to volunteer. No, I'm going to volunteer the rest of my life for a service to make freedom in the United States of America. So again, Vet Fest is this Saturday.
Saturday, September 28th, starts at 10, 11, and 12, Town of Whitehall. If you go to vetfestdelaware.com, you'll learn all about it.
I love it. So if you can't get to Vet Fest, make your way to Vet Fest. Find a way to make your way to Vet Fest. So actually, we have two 5Ks, right? On the 28th. Community, Claymont Community Center.
Awesome.
And that's early in the morning. That's 8:30 to 10:30 to 10 o'clock. And then also yours in the morning as well throughout the day. So you can have a good exercise day while giving back to the community and giving back to the vets. I love it. Brian, thanks again for coming.
Thank you so much. On behalf of all the volunteers, thank you so much.
All right, before we get out of here.
Yes, sir.
That's your camera right there.
Okay.
I want you to give a message to those vets out there that's watching.
Woo! On behalf of all of your fellow Delawareans who are going to surround you for the day at Vet Fest, We invite you to come out and see that we hear you, we appreciate your sacrifice, and if you come out to the town of Whitehall and enjoy Vet Fest with us, we're going to give you the biggest darn hug and show our appreciation that you've ever had. VetFestDelaware.com. We'll see you there.
We love it, Brian. Thanks again, bro. All right, it's your main man, Big I. Make sure you check out Vet Fest, and we'll see you on the other side. But sure to make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. Share this video because there might be a vet out there that needs to see this, and it might be a person out there like you that needs to see this. All right, I'll see you at Vet Fest.